And welcome back to the podcast, everyone. My apologies if I sound a bit strange. I've been sick for the past couple of days, and last night was brutal, guys. Like, I couldn't even breathe. I was so congested, and I already feel like I got sleep apnea, so that makes it even worse. So it's like last night, man, I had to like constantly get up, blow my nose. I'm putting on Vicks, and yes, if you're Hispanic, you got a lot of Vicks on you. Yeah, I'm just taking medications. I'm taking tea. So I'm gonna try. I would say I'm gonna try not to talk too much, but I'm by myself today, so yeah. But I mean, today I'm gonna talk about the Oscars. I know this will probably be a week after the Oscars come out. I couldn't record this after the night of. Because again, like the past 2 days, I've just been sick. I swear, I think because I was working at the Alamo Dome, which is a venue here in San Antonio, and I think whatever patron I was using, I was wheelchairing because they had me doing wheelchairs. Basically, like if anybody has like low mobility, like if they have a cane or like, sometimes like they can't walk too far, I would have to get a wheelchair and then wheelchair them all the way to wherever their seat needs to be. But I swear, I think one of them had something and they gave it to me. That's what I feel like. So I blame the Alamo Dome for doing this. So, but yeah. And plus, like the last 2 nights, I literally had a big sore throat. I couldn't even speak. Like even the morning of, like I sounded like crap, bro. Like I'm starting to recover a bit, but yeah, no, it's been very bad. So, but anyway, I'm going to talk about the Oscars because I like to do this every year or every season. I remember season 2, I had two Oscar episodes. And that was because remember season 2 was very long and complicated. But anyway, so we're gonna again talk about the Oscars. So One Battle After Another was the grand prize winner. It took home Best Director and Best Picture for PTA, Paul Thomas Anderson. Look, as much, and I really mean this, as much as I really wanted Ryan Coogler to not only be like the first black man to win Best Director, but just to win Best Director in general for this season, even at the Oscars. Paul Thomas Anderson hasn't won any. He's been, like if he had lost all the awards, he would have been 0-14. Now he's just 3-11. 3 wins, 11 losses. But I think it's because we're almost going to approach 100 years and still no black director has ever won. But in the end, it was still Paul Thomas Anderson's year. Like I said, if he had won, which he did, I'm not going to be too upset about it because he has a really nice career, even though One Battle After Another was neither my favorite film of his or of last year, which last year was Sinners, like he's saying. I say he still deserved it. He won the adapted screenplay, director, and picture. But Sinners came close. Sinners made so many records. It made the record for most nominations with 16, which for a while I thought that was a bit overkill because, 16, dang. Especially when I get into the categories, you'll see why. But I mean, I really liked it, but man, 16 nominations. But that's not the one thing that really just set the record. It also Autumn Dorado Acapel that I took forever to get her name right because every time I mentioned Sinners, I just kept saying Autumn whatever because I couldn't remember her full name. I just remember her name is Autumn because I got a sister figure named Autumn. So that's how I figured it. That's how I remembered it really. But Autumn Dorado Acapel is the first woman to ever win Best Cinematography. Even with it being a woman of color, I don't use that term. I just say she was a woman in general, won Best Cinematography for the very first time. It was shocking for 2 reasons. Other than it being a record, the other one being One Battle After Another kept winning a lot of cinematography awards before the Oscars. Yeah, we thought One Battle After Another was going to take this, and they didn't. And rightfully so, Sinners got the award. Because we thought Sinners was going to take the very first ever Best Casting Award because it's been winning ensemble. They've been talking about Francine Maisler, who's the casting director. But no, it went to One Battle After Another. So it kind of switched a bit, but, it went with 12 losses, but the wins are actually really good wins because it won, of course, Best Cinematography. Ryan Coogler won the Best Original Screenplay Award and won Best Score, again, for Ludwig Göransson. And Michael B. Jordan beats out Timothée Chalamet for Best Actor. Look, I'm so happy Michael B. Jordan won, but part of me still wish it was Timothée Chalamet because I like the performance of Marty Supreme a lot more than his dual performance of Sinners, just because, his Timothée Chalamet's character is a flawed person, which Timothée Chalamet kind of is. I mean, the people are saying that he lost because of his comments on opera and ballet. Yeah, that's what I think. He just doesn't know how to keep his mouth shut. And not only that, He was doing all these like screenings and stuff like that. Like he was campaigning hard to the point where I think Academy voters were annoyed by it, because I would have been. So yeah, Timothée Chalamet went home empty-handed again, but that's because like he started off winning. You get what I mean? Now, in all fairness, this award season has been too damn long, like very long. Like part of it was because of the Winter Olympics. So like the award season has to, if it's on the line of Winter Olympics, they have to make a big pause so that people can watch the Olympics and then get back to the award season. But yeah, it went too forever, bro. Like I remember back in 2020, it was legit like one award show a week. Like the Oscars happened in February, like the first weekend of February or the second weekend of February. And that was surprising. And then of course we had to wait the next year in April because of the pandemic and so forth. So everything, yeah. I don't know. Maybe next year for Dune Part 3. Assuming Dune Part 3 is going to do well, which it probably will. But the question is, if that's true, would he campaign for Dune Part 3? Because he wasn't nominated for the other two movies. He was nominated for... What was he nominated for? He was nominated for Best Actor for Call Me By Your Name, and then as well as Best Actor for Complete Unknown last year. Chalamet had been starting off like as the Best Actor winner in the Golden Globes and the Critics' Choice, and if you remember, those are like the starting award season award shows. And it's like a fire starter almost, but Timothée Chalamet had to win 2 other awards to actually secure a spot for Best Actor. He had to win the BAFTA, which is called the British Academy Film Awards, and he lost to Robert Aramayo for a movie called I Swear. He wasn't nominated for Best Actor at the Oscars, Robert Aramayo, mostly because that movie only came out in the UK. It hasn't appeared in the US yet. So that's why there was no campaign for him and Best Actor here in the States. But he lost the BAFTA, and that just like threw people off a bit. Of course, we got to talk about it. Look, I kind of mentioned it, what was it, like a few episodes ago. I'll say it again. Yes, like Robert Aramayo, the person he played was John Davidson, a person with Tourette's. And remember, Tourette's, you have some uncontrollable tics. Apparently, like the most famous one, which is weird because only 10% of those people have this form of Tourette's. I think it's called copralia, where you have uncontrollable tics of swearing. And it's like, it's in your subconscious mind, but it's like words you don't want to say. You get what I mean? And people because he said the N-word when Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo were on stage, and everyone heard it. Yeah. It was just an awkward moment. And apparently Wumi Masako said, like, even though she knew it wasn't his fault, he also said that it wasn't just that moment. There were other moments. And he tried to last, but he only lasted like an hour, and he left. Like he felt like he had to leave. He wasn't forced out by the BAFTA. It's just that both BBC and Alan Cumming, who was the host, they did not handle it well. Mostly BBC, because one, Alan Cumming said about like, this person has Tourette's, it means you have uncontrollable tics and urges. We apologize if you were offended, which I mean, it's a word that was a derogatory word. So yeah, people are going to get offended. But the issue was BBC had 2 hours because it wasn't a live show. They had 2 hours to edit out everything. And they edited out another speech where it said Free Palestine. Apparently, John Davidson had said some homophobic slurs when Alan Cummings was on stage, but apparently BBC edited those out. So that was the issue. It was BBC, because it's not John Davidson's fault. When I mentioned it earlier, it made it sound like I was too far into Michael B. Jordan, Delroy Lindo's side, which I'm not trying to be. But like I said, I don't know Tourette's well. So I can only speak of what I can know so far, but it caused a big diverse clash of, what is it called, ableism and racism. Look, 2 things could be right at the same time, okay? Like, you could say a word that, you did not mean to say because you have uncontrollable tics, you can't contain it. And people are going to be like, well, he heard that word somewhere. I mean, yeah, it's a word people already know, so it doesn't matter, like, if he was saying it in his personal life or not. Movies and media and stuff like that have been saying that word forever. So he heard that word somewhere. Even if it wasn't him that said it the first time, he heard the word somewhere, and it's in his vocab now. On the other hand, Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo heard a word that has a harmful impact. But they were, they played it off. They just did their job. It's just that everybody had to watch that happen. And I feel bad for all 3 of them, for John Davidson, because he tried. I give it to him, he tried, and Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo for, at least bracing through this. We've been moving on past this, so I think that's something I want to. But to my point that, yeah, Robert Aramayo, for those that don't know, he plays Elrond, The Rings of Power. Now, I've never seen The Rings of Power, but I know he's in the show and he plays Elrond because I just looked it up. I don't plan on ever watching the show because it's like a disgrace to Tolkien's original novels. But yeah, it was a very complicated year because like not only was Timmy like losing, going back to Timothée Chalamet, not only did he lost the BAFTA to somebody that was not even nominated at the Oscar, he lost the actor award. Back then it used to be called the Screen Actors Guild Award. He lost the actor award to Michael B. Jordan. And it's interesting because Timothée Chalamet won that award last year for A Complete Unknown, beating Adrian Brody, who would win the Oscar that last year as well. So maybe people in their minds are thinking Timothée Chalamet already won this award last year. Maybe we should give it to somebody else. And they give it to Michael B. Jordan, and that just carried on. So I don't know. Who knows where it could go from here? If Timothée Chalamet, because could he get nominated for Dune Part 3? I don't know. I swear, I don't know. It could be possible, but we're not going to get Dune until December of this year, the same day that we get Avengers Doomsday. And when I'm recording this is actually when we got the trailer, and it looks really good too. So who knows? Maybe he could take the Sean Penn route, which I'll talk about, because Sean Penn won Best Supporting Actor this year. Now he's won twice. Not in this category, but Best Actor for Mystic River and Milk. He's been very like, what do you call it? An-Oscared or he avoids these award shows now because of like his humanitarian award or his humanitarianism and stuff like that. Like I would have liked Orlando to win, but Sean Penn's performance stood out to me the most. It was like the J.K. Simmons and Heath Ledger of the decade. Maybe not to that extent. It's close enough to it. But his performance was very like captivating. Like he was such an awful man in that movie. I mean, he's kind of an awful man now. He's just not like his character, but he is pretty like he's not a likable person. And he doesn't even care. Like he smoked at the Golden Globes. He looked like he didn't want to be there. And in the beginning, that category was all over the place. Like Jacob Elordi won Best Supporting Actor at Critics' Choice for Frankenstein. And then Stellan Skarsgård won the Golden Globe for Sentimental Value, which everyone thought he could have been the front runner. But then Sean Penn kept winning BAFTA, his very first win there. He's been nominated multiple times, but has never won in the actor award. And then yeah. Look, I get people who don't want to like show up at these award shows and stuff like that. And I get it, but if it had, here's the thing. It would have almost been like the Marlon Brando situation where he won Best Actor for The Godfather. And then Sachin Littlefeather, though she wasn't even an actual Native American, went to take his award and talk about like why Marlon Brando wasn't there. That sparked a lot of controversy back then. So they're like, okay, nobody is allowed to accept the awards on anybody's behalf, or like nobody from that's not family, or at least or somebody that's part of the production team. It's only family and like, I guess, castmates or producing partners that are allowed to take the awards. But even then, yeah. But still, I mean, he's not going to show up next year. I can guarantee that. He's not going to present. Most likely it'll be a past winner from a previous year. But yeah, but Delroy Lindo would have been a good win. He would have been the Marcia Gay Harden of that year. For those that don't know, back in 2001, Marcia Gay Harden, an actress, she played that religious woman from Mist. She won Best Supporting Actress for Pollock. Here's the thing. She wasn't nominated anywhere else. And she won the Oscar, beating out everybody who was nominated that year. The issue was everybody else that was nominated that year were winning at different award shows. Like Kate Hudson, who was nominated this year, she was nominated in 2001 for, what is it called? Almost Famous. And she won the Golden Globe. And then Frances McDormand, I think, won the Critics' Choice. And then I think it was Judi Dench that won the BAFTA. And I don't know the other person. But Marcia Gay Harden was like beat out everybody. Yeah. But speaking of supporting actress, Amy Madigan won Best Supporting Actress for Weapons. And bro, I'm all for that because I loved Weapons. Weapons was my number 2 favorite film of last year, along with Sinners. You know, either her or Wound Me would have been great winners, but was Wound Me, it would have been just a side character, which nothing wrong with that. She was really outstanding in Sinners, but Amy Madigan in Weapons was like the villain, like everybody saw. And I was toying around with myself saying, could she get nominated for that? Because it's a horror film. It's a very transformative performance. It's a villain, and she's also like a previous nominee, but she was the only nominee this year for Weapons. And that's very difficult. It's very difficult to win an Oscar if you're the only nominee for your category. Look what happened with Glenn Close for The Wife. She was this close to winning and lost to Olivia Colman. But I'm all for that. I'm all for Amy Madigan. I'm so happy she won. And yeah, I mean, Weapons, I love Weapons. Like I said, my number 2 favorite film of this 2025. Yeah, there's definitely a lot more to talk about. I'm going to take a break real quick. All right, and we're back. So let's talk about some snubs. So every year the Academy, they don't nominate, a film that we all thought was going to get nominated, or performance, or really anything. Yeah, so the biggest one of all was Wicked. Wicked, if y'all remember last year, Wicked got 10 nominations, not awards, but nominations, with 2 wins. Best Costume Design, which went to Paul Tasso, who became the first black man to win the award. And Best Production Design. This year, the Wicked for Good did not get jack. No nominations. So yeah, Wicked for Good didn't get jack. Mostly because Wicked for Good, well, let's just talk about Wicked in general and not the movie. I mean the actual production. The actual production, everybody loves the first half. It's the second half a lot of people don't like. None of the songs are as famous as Popular and Defying Gravity. And not only that, it's it didn't really do, I did do well at the box office, but it's that thing where it's the second half was just all right. It wasn't really, it was hardly good, you could say. But people thought maybe Ariana Grande could get nominated, or Cynthia Erivo, or both of them. And maybe the film could have gotten some above the line category, or not above the line, below the line categories, again, effects, makeup, costume design, production design, any of those. But it didn't come out. It came out empty handed, because at a certain point, Cynthia Erivo wasn't getting nominated for anything. And then it was all just Ariana Grande. Well, then the momentum for them started going down, where Ariana Grande did not even get nominated for BAFTA or for the Oscar. That was a big snub. The other big snub was, No Other Choice. Now, I have never seen No Other Choice, but I heard it was such a good film, and I wanted to check it out. Someday I will. The reason why No Other Choice was getting shut out was because Park Chan-wook was part of the WGA, and he was writing No Other Choice when the strikes were happening, and they felt like it was a betrayal. That's you're doing this job when you're not supposed to. And it's weird for me to think about that, because Park Chan-wook is Korean, and the WGA isn't really internationally. The WGA, the Writers Guild of America, is American. So, but they say he was part of an American show, and it still kind of counts. But it's not only that, I mean, it was also shot in Korea. But I don't know. People thought it was going to get Best International Feature Film and Best Adapted Screenplay. But no, I didn't get any of those. What's another film? Sorry Baby. I haven't seen that one, but I know some people have. What's the word? So at the Golden Globes, Julia Roberts was talking about Sorry Baby, and Ava Victor was nominated for Best Actress that night. She didn't get nominated. They didn't get nominated that night for the Oscars. But Julia Roberts was like you should go watch Sorry Baby. And there was a big clap from the audience. Yeah, people thought because of that, maybe Sorry Baby would get at least Best Original Screenplay, and no, nothing. And then, what was it? Adam Sandler for, what's that movie? Not Uncut Gems, that was years ago. What was that movie called? It was with George Clooney. I can't remember right now off the top of my head. Jay Kelly, that's what it was called. It's called Jay Kelly. But that barely lasted. So a lot of good movies and a lot of great performances didn't get nominated. But I mean, it's just like that. The thing is, this year was so crazy. It was Best Supporting Actor, Supporting Actress, and Actor. But yeah, it was crazy because we didn't know who was going to win. The only predictable one, Jessie Buckley. Now, I haven't seen Hamnet, but I heard she's really good. So good that when you watch it, you already knew she was going to win. And yeah, she won the entire season. I watched some of the other films that were, had the one nominations, especially in Best Actress. I saw Song Sung Blue, which was Kate Hudson, which, in my personal opinion, it was more of Hugh Jackman's story than Kate Hudson's. But yeah, I saw If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You, what Rose Byrne was nominated for. Funny enough, Conan O'Brien, who hosted the Oscars, was in that movie. And, what was I going to say? When I saw If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You, it was stressing me the hell out, because one thing leads to another, and it's just oh my gosh, what the? So yeah, there was that. And then I saw some of the other ones, like Bugonia, which was really, really good. I think Jesse Plemons should have gotten nominated for that. And same thing with Song Sung Blue. This is more Jesse Plemons' character than it is with Emma Stone. No offense to Emma Stone, by the way. What else? I saw Train Dreams. Train Dreams is actually really good. Like, that's a movie. Y'all should check out. It's on Netflix. It's well shot. It just leaves you heartbroken. And yeah, I mean, it's so great. It's so well directed, shot. The guy, what was it, Clem Bentley? Should have gotten nominated for Best Director. I'm glad it was nominated for Best Cinematography. But yeah, what was it? I already saw, Marty Supreme, Sinner, one battle after another. I saw some of the other one-offs, like The Smashing Machine. The Smashing Machine was all right. Nothing to run home about. There was so much controversy with this season because, like, for those that don't know, Josh Safdie, who directed Marty Supreme, and his brother Ben Safdie, who directed The Smashing Machine, they were separating. They used to do films together, but something that involved was an underage girl while they were doing Good Times. Yeah, like, it just, the news came back, and yeah, it just, like, brought some unfortunate stuff, which gives me to another topic to talk about. I used to really, really like them back in, like, middle school and early high school, and even now. But I feel like in the past, from middle school to high school, I think they were actually really great and decent. And some of the films that were nominated were actually really, really good. But I feel like things have been getting political. And part of that is I blame the internet. But a problem that I was scared was going to happen after the Grammys. I didn't see the Grammys, though. But I saw the speeches the next day. And y'all know me, I'm not a political person. I'm not a liberal or a conservative. I was afraid of, like, any, political speech and stuff like that, especially from a documentary called Mr. Nobody Against Putin. And like I said, I don't know too much about Russia, to be honest with you. There's like so many stories going around about that, and I just stopped paying attention. That doesn't mean I don't care. Trust me, I do. But everybody says one thing or the other, and like now we don't know what the real truth is. Javier Bardem came out with the Stop War in Iran. Here's the thing, though. There was a movie that was nominated that he presented in the Best International Feature Film, and I saw this movie too. It's called It Was Just an Accident. It Was Just an Accident was illegally filmed in Iran because of the regime. The filmmaker, Jafar Panahi, had been arrested so many times in Iran. He lost his permits to even make a film in Iran. Like, no studio even wanted to pick it up. And that's why he went to France to actually have them make this film for him. But he still shot it in Iran illegally. And like, he wasn't going to win Best International Feature, which sucks because I think that movie was really fantastic. I knew, like, Sentimental Value was going to win, or The Secret Agent, which is a film I started watching. I haven't had a chance to finish it. But here's the thing. If Jafar Panahi won the International Feature Film, he would have, like, I think they would have cut him off. They would have cut him off, and because I can agree that Hollywood likes to pick and choose, and they like to gaslight folks. I can agree on that. I don't think it's everybody, but I can agree there's a lot of folks. And if Jafar Panahi had won, he would have told everybody, and they would have cut him off. The network would have gone to commercial. Yeah, because the only ones who would know so much about these countries are the people who live there. The Russians, the Ukrainians, the Venezuelans, the Iranians, the Palestinians, the Israelis, the Israelis. And like I said, I'm not a political person. I'm not going to side with either or. I am more side with the civilians of both sides. You get what I mean? Because I don't think every Republican's the same, and I don't think every Democrat's the same. You get what I mean? People who voted for Trump are always MAGA, and people who voted for or at least people who are Democrat didn't vote for Kamala or Joe or whatever future president. Because, guys, let's be honest with y'all. I'm going to be honest with y'all. What are y'all going to do when Trump's no longer president? Because I can guarantee y'all have nothing to talk about after that. Even if J.D. Vance doesn't choose to run for president in 2028, y'all have nothing. All right. And if the internet ever goes extinct, y'all really have nothing. Now, I wouldn't even call every single celebrity that was there a child predator. I have to say child predator because obviously YouTube and everybody else, all the platforms that hold this, I don't think they're all that, because it's not only that, guys. It's like people think like the Oscars are always like awarding the actors. Well, yeah, that's true, but it's also awarding the behind the scenes folks, which people don't really care about. Let's be honest, they also don't care about, but I'll be honest with you on that. Why do I keep watching? Because maybe one day that'll change. Maybe one day we can like have a politically free award show. It may not happen. I'm a hopeful dreamer, but I wouldn't do that. If it was me, I'd take the Jelly Roll route, which is talk about Jesus. But I just want to say, like, it's not fair to, like, put them in a category that not everybody was involved in. Like what happened on that island was terrible, and people should be held accountable for it. Another thing I could personally say, and I'll probably talk about this next episode, is that like they're not held accountable for it in life. They will be held accountable for it in death. You also have to think of the timeline, also like which celebrity was probably around during the island times. But look, I don't think they're all Satanists or devil worshippers. A lot of them are, I'll admit it. But I just think maybe one day somebody can change Hollywood for the best. Again, that's hopeful thinking, but I don't know. It may never happen, but we don't know. But I want to keep it on a positive note. Look, the other thing I want to talk about is K-pop Demon Hunter, because I didn't get a chance to talk about it. But, K-pop Demon Hunter winning Best Song, even though I would have preferred I Lied to You, but K-pop Demon Hunter winning Best Song was great, and Best Animated Feature Film. Remember, K-pop Demon Hunter was one of my top 5 favorite films of last year. There was a tie this year. I wish there was a tie for Best Director. That way, both PTA and Ryan Coogler would have won, but, it is what it is. Or even Timothée Chalamet and Michael B. Jordan. That would have been interesting. Yeah, it was a tie for Best Live Action Short. It was The Singers and Two People Exchanging Saliva. I know there was a documentary short it was called All the Empty Rooms. And it's about this filmmaker who goes to the homes of parents whose child died from a school shooting. Yeah, and I know that like one of the mothers from whose daughter died in the Uvalde shooting like 3 years ago, almost 4 years ago. Look, I'm not going to get in the whole like political of it all, of like, Second Amendments and gun violence and stuff. But can we all agree that it's shitty to lose a child that way? Can we just agree to that without getting political? You get what I mean? Plus, like, I don't see it from the parents, but I see people like politicians and stuff like that use that in a way of promoting themselves for any political office. And I think that's a terrible thing to do. Like you're using somebody's, even if the parents consent to it, I understand, but what if they didn't? You're using that tragedy to try to win people over. And that's not what I would do. I could be wrong, but I hope to God I'm not. But it was an interesting topic about like, seeing the rooms of kids, who didn't go home that day. Because I remember like being young and being told Columbine that happened. Well, I think it was like when I was born. And then when I was a sophomore in high school, and this was Christmas time too, the Sandy Brook, I think it's called Sandy Brook or Sandy Hook, the Sandy Hook massacre, that was tragic too. And when you see the ages of the kids, that's terrible. And then of course we had the one in Uvalde. Then I know there was one in Colorado, I believe, that happened the same day as Charlie Kirk, when Charlie Kirk died. It's interesting. I would never do something like that, just because like, and I've thought about it, but the reason why I never wanted to do it is because I'm afraid of like giving the parents trauma, even if they consent to it. I mean, it's a whole different thing, but it's like, how do I honor your child's legacy? You get what I mean? What was your child like? My heart still goes out to those people. It's been years. It's been a little over 30 years of Columbine. They still probably grieve to this day. It's tough. It's a shitty world. But I'm glad something like that was recognized. It didn't have to be too political. I don't think it was. And if they say it is, then screw you for thinking that. But yeah, I might check it out. I know there was another movie it was a short animated film that won back in 2021 called If Anything Happens to Me, I Love You. And my sister told me about that, and she said it's also very heartbreaking. But yeah, I'm going to take another break right now. All right, and welcome back. All right, so I want to do something right now, and I just want to go back to it. Some of the other winners tonight, Frankenstein won 3 awards for costume design, makeup, and production design, all well-deserved. What else? There's a short animated film I want to check out that one called The Girl Who Cried Pearls. The story concept that I heard sounds very interesting. What else? Who else won? I don't think I'm ever going to watch those documentaries. Well, probably just the All the Empty Bedrooms, because I know that's on Netflix. I don't know about the Putin one because like I'm not too much into politics or have any understanding of any other politics in this world. And if you get mad at me for that, I'm sorry, but that's just how I am. What else is there? Is that it? I feel like that's it because I cover most of it, right? Like I covered Jesse Buckley. And for the record, I saw The Bride. I don't think it was that bad as people were trying to make it out to be. It's not like Scream. Yeah, The Bride didn't have the best storyline, and surprisingly, Jessie Buckley's performance was meh for a lot of folks. But the costume design, ironically, the costume and makeup and production design was good. Yeah, F1 won Best Sound. Now, I remember back then that I was like, could F1 get nominated? Surprisingly, it did. To be honest with you guys, I never thought of it as an actual Best Picture contender, but I mean, it became a Best Picture contender and it won Best Sound, and I think it deserved that. One battle after another, of course, won Best Film Editing, Best Casting. Yeah, because I already talked about Sinners. I still wish it won Best Picture, but you know what? I can move past that. Yeah, I think I covered everything. Because what else was also nominated? Oh yeah, Avatar won Best, Best Visual Effects, which, no surprise. I mean, the other two movies have won, unless, I have no doubt Doom Part 3 is going to win, unless Godzilla Minus Zero, because we get Godzilla Minus Zero this year, unless, that one competes against Dune. But who knows? Who knows for sure? So was that everything then? Because I talked about Best Score and Song, Picture, Director, Actor and Actress, Supporting Actor, Supporting Actress. I talked about the documentary features. All I do know is that in 2 years, we're going to get the Best Stunt. I kind of wish we had that this year, but Sinners probably would have gotten another award, and that would have gone to, it probably would not have gone to One Battle. I think it would have gone to, what is it called? Mission Impossible, because it's been winning a lot of stunt awards. But as of right now, I think I want to rank like maybe the top 6 categories. I know like the awards contender, which by the way, Brian Rowe, if you want to, you have an open invitation to the show. He might not want to if he ever reads into my past episodes, but maybe you could just look past that and we could just have a good conversation. Yeah, Brian Rowe, you're welcome, along with Austin Berg, Luke Harfield. I got into this one called the Awards Garage, and then obviously the Oscar Expert and Brother Bro. Y'all are also welcome to the show if y'all ever hear this. I want to just do some rankings. So let's just start off with the top 6, because let's just do Best Supporting Actor first. Where would I rank this so far? So, and it's difficult because none of them gave me that, like, that J.K. Simmons and, Heath Ledger, because every year you had that one Best Actor where like, each decade, even, like, through time, that's going to be, like, the best. So, because, like, in the 2010s, J.K. Simmons was the best supporting actor that decade. I even ranked him that high. Heath Ledger in the 2000s. Joe Pesci in the 1990s. So, yeah. So, where would I rank this so far with Sean Penn? I would say so far in 6th place, because it's from 2020 to 2025. I think for now I'm going to put Troy Kutzer in 6th place, just because I haven't seen Coda yet. Or I've seen Coda, I just haven't seen it since, like, it came out. So right now it's Troy Kutzer, and then probably Daniel Kaluuya. And I haven't seen Judas and the Black Messiah ever since it came out either, so there's that. So it's Troy Kutzer, Daniel Kaluuya, and Kieran Culkin, Sean Penn. And then I'm tossed up between who should be my top 2, Robert Downey Jr. or Ke Huy Quan. And for now, I'll just put Ke Huy Quan and then Robert Downey Jr. All right, so that's it for now. And it could change once the 2030s happen. Now for Best Supporting Actress. Where would I rank that? Supporting Actress. So far, maybe in 6th place, I'll have Ariana DeBose. I've only seen West Side Story once, but the thing is that, like, what defaults her is that, like, this was a performance that already won in the 1960s was Rita Moreno. And there's that. So there's Ariana DeBose in 6th place. In 5th place, I would put another Latina out there, but I definitely would put Zoe Saldana, just mostly because, like, I don't think she was, like, I liked her, Emilia Perez, but, like, some of the other actresses in that category, like Ariana Grande or even Felicity Jones, I think were a lot better, in my opinion. So it's Ariana DeBose and then Zoe Saldana, and then in 4th place, and that's a tough one. Who would be in 4th place? But actually, no. I think in 6th place, I'm putting Jamie Lee Curtis, then Ariana DeBose, and then Zoe Saldana, because Jamie Lee Curtis's win, and a lot of people are going to put her in last place. It's because, like, she didn't do much in the movie. As much as I love Jamie Lee Curtis and the fact that she has an Oscar, I don't think that was the right role for her to win. So there's that. So it's Jamie Lee Curtis, Ariana DeBose, then Zoe Saldana. So that's places 6 to 4. The top 3 is difficult for me, but I think, like, for now, I'm going to put, who should I put for number 3? Who should I put for number 3? Who was it? Grace Randolph? I think not Grace Randolph. Grace Randolph's the other chick that I have complaints about. Divine Joy Randolph will be at number 3. Number 2 would be Yo Jung-yoon from Minari, because I think she was excellent in that. So Happy Shuan, I love Minari. And then number 1, and as for now, I think it'll always be number 1 for me. And I even said it. I said, if Amy Madigan won Best Supporting Actress, she's definitely going to be number 1 in this decade. And I'm going to stand by that. She's the number 1. All right. Now Best Actor. Actor or actress? I'll just do actor. Best Actor. Let me think. For now, I'm going to put in 6th place. And I have to be very frank what I'm about to say. In 6th place will be Will Smith. Not because of the slap. All right. The slap has nothing to do with why he's ranked low. All right. Because even without the slap, I would still put him in the bottom. Just because of, I feel like it was just a basic Oscar performance, if you catch my drift. So for now, in last place, it's Will Smith. All right. In 5th place, and this is going to be difficult. Who should I put in 5th place? Oh, man. It kills me, but I'm going to have to say Michael B. Jordan. Like, I love Michael B. Jordan, but compared to some of the others, I think I might have to put him in 5th place. And who knows? And I love Sinners, but we'll just do that. So for now, it's Will Smith in 6th, Michael B. Jordan in 5th. I'm going to put Adrian Brody in 4th, just because, I don't know, I'm thinking I'm just like seeing of all the other actors. I think I like the other actors a lot more. So in 4th place, it's Adrian Brody. In 3rd place, and actually, no. I'm actually going to put Brendan Fraser in 4th place. Like, I love Brendan Fraser. And I might switch Michael and Brendan around. But yeah, it'll be Will Smith, Michael B. Jordan, Brendan Fraser, Adrian Brody, Cillian Murphy, and then Anthony Hopkins. Best Actress. This is difficult. Now, it's because I haven't seen all the Best Actresses wins. So, by default, I have to rely based on clips. And so, for now, I'm going to have to put not Jessie Buckley, the other Jessie. I'm going to have to put Jessica Chastain in last place, even though I haven't seen Through the Eyes of Tammy Faye, but it looks like a basic, Oscar bait film. And I could be right if I watch it. So, it'll be Jessica Chastain in 6th place. 5th place will be, what's her name again? Oh, man, Frances McDormand. Yeah, it'll be Frances McDormand, just because I felt like she didn't do much in Nomadland. And I wasn't even a big fan of Nomadland. That's the other thing. And it's funny, because I seen Nomadland. But it's Jessica Chastain, then it's Frances McDormand. And then who should I put in 4th place? I mean, who else? Oh, let me think. For now, I'm going to put Jessie Buckley until I watch Hamnet. But for now, I'll put her in 4th place. Oh, yeah, in 4th place. 3rd place, I'm going to put Michelle Yeoh. And then in 2nd place, I'm going to put, what do I put? I think I might put Emma Stone in 2nd place. That means, wow, Mikey Madison's in 1st place? That panned out weird. I'll stick with it for now. It might change once I saw Hamnet. Who knows, maybe Jessie Buckley will be in 1st place, but because I just saw resaw Nora, and I think, yeah, I changed my mind. She deserved that win. Yeah. Best director. All right. In 6th place, I'm going to have to put, y'all are going to call me sexist and racist on this part, but for now, I'm going to have to put Chloe Zhao, just because, I mean, Nomadland was good, but it's also like, I like the directings and all the other categories too. Oh, yeah, and all the other films too, like Manx, and I think Emerald Fennell was nominated. I think I like her directing style there than in Chloe Zhao's. So it's Chloe Zhao's. And then I'm going to put Sean Baker, just because it's just an indie film. Even though I do think Nora's a good film, I think all the other directors have a different style. So it's Chloe Zhao, Sean Baker. I'm trying to think right now who directed the not the Isle of the Dogs, the Power of the Dogs. Jane Campion. Yeah, Jane Campion's in 4th place. So Chloe Zhao, Sean Baker, Jane Campion. In 3rd place, I'm going to put the Daniels for Everything Everywhere. In 2nd place, I'm putting Paul Thomas Anderson. In 1st place, no surprise, I'm putting Christopher Nolan. And finally, Best Picture. Where would I rate the Best Picture wins? This wasn't that difficult. Like, literally, it's going to be in 6th place, Coda. Then 5th place, Nomadland. 4th place is going to be Nora. 3rd place is going to be, and it's weird because the movies are going to be switched, but in 3rd place is One Bad After Another. 2nd place is Everything Everywhere All at Once, and number 1 is Oppenheimer. That's all the rankings I got so far. We'll see what happens this year. There's The Odyssey coming out. There's Doom Part 3 that I've already talked about, Werewolf. Maybe that can give Robert Eggers some Oscar nominations. I heard Willem Dafoe has a movie coming out, so maybe he'll finally get an Oscar win. Martin Scorsese has a horror movie coming out this year with DiCaprio and Jennifer Lawrence, but it also has Mads Mikkelsen. So maybe Mads Mikkelsen will finally get an Oscar nomination because he's been overdue as well. And I don't know. I don't know if there's going to be a black film director this year that's going to pull off a good directing style to win. I know there's one with what's his name? Boots Riley's. It's called I Love Boosters. But I saw the trailer. I don't think there's enough directing style for him to even get nominated. But who knows? It premiered at South by Southwest, I heard, and a lot of people liked it, so we'll see. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Okay, I'm definitely want to go to Fantastic Fest. I want to check that out, and maybe some good films by black filmmakers will show up. It doesn't even have to be American. It could be like Nigerian or Kenyan or Black British or Jamaican. And yeah, because I don't know even if Michael Jackson biography is going to do well. And if it does, I highly doubt Antoine Fuqua could get a Best Director nomination and or win. But we'll see. So guys, first of all, thank you for bracing all the ickiness that I'm dealing with. I know I don't sound great, so hopefully next episode I will. But you guys have a great night, day, morning, whenever you're listening to this. Signing off.
Hi, if you like our content and want to get more content, please follow us on Instagram at Tough Love Pictures along with our YouTube under Tough Love Pictures.